If you saw me out and about during my day, you probably wouldn't know I was legally blind. I typically don't carry my white cane, I don't use a guide dog, or wear any special reading glasses. I have an eye condition called choroideremia. It's CHM for short. It's a rare disease that's genetically inherited and it basically means I'm losing my sight. I was diagnosed with choroideremia at 8 years old, and my parents told me about the condition and some of the outcomes at about 13. And at that point, being a typical young boy, really didn't give it much long-term thought. I thought of it as having night blindness, and that was about it. During high school is when choroideremia started to play a larger role in my day-to-day life. Until that point, I hadn't used any corrective lenses, and my freshman year in high school is when I got my first set of contacts and glasses. I had played roller and ice hockey up until this point, and on the way to practice one day I noticed this small spot in my eye that I couldn't see well out of and thought it was the contact lens, and as I had changed the lens I found out that that spot was permanently there, and that kind of led to finishing my final season as an ice hockey player. At that point I did assess the situation a little differently, seeing that part of my central vision was beginning to deteriorate, but I still don't think I made any serious long-term thoughts about the way choroideremia may affect my outcomes in life. It just kind of was another challenge or another speed bump in the road for me. When it came time to begin driver's training and get a driver's license, I took driver's training just as everyone else did and got my regular driver's license. I just chose not to drive at night at that age, but I did drive from the age of 16 all the way till about the age of 21. I was at that point a sophomore in college, and it didn't really limit a lot of my mobility. College campuses are pretty accessible, and living in a city area gives you access to public transportation, so I didn't really feel limited by my choice at that point, and it wasn't really hard for me to give up driving. By the end of high school, choroideremia was starting to play a larger role in my life. It had limited some of my sports activities, and I was carrying a flashlight to get around at night, but it didn't really affect my college planning at that point, my educational goals, or my career choices. Having low vision was more of a day-to-day obstacle for me at that point. The summer before my senior year of college was kind of a turning point where I found out about the community of low vision resources that are available. I began an independent research project with a professor detailing the FDA approval process for potential cures for people with vision loss. Doing that paper and doing the research led into an internship at a low vision clinic. Going into my internship as a business student, I was there to learn about and help on the management side of the day-to-day activities. And as I became more involved with the staff, I told them about my condition called choroideremia. They were very surprised, one, because they hadn't heard of the condition, I wasn't in any of their medical books, and two, because at the age of 22 I had not known about all the resources out there for people with low vision, so it was very eye-opening for both myself and for the staff members at the clinic. Over the last year and a half, beginning with my research as an undergrad and then my internship, I've really discovered a lot about not only myself and my own visual condition, but also the whole community of resources that are out there and available to persons with low vision. I've met and built relationships with a handful of people that have the same eye condition I have, and I've also decided to pursue further education as a vision rehabilitation therapist. Living with low vision has been a challenge, but it's never been the end of the world at all. Between finding new career pathways for myself and becoming more involved with the low vision community and the research foundations and seeing the potential cures that are being studied out there right now, I'm very optimistic about not only my own success, but also that of the low vision community as a whole. That's how I see it.